Hello and welcome to We Are Tottenham TV. You got me, Marlon, and you've got my boy Ashmatic. How you doing?
What are you telling me, bro? What are you telling me? What are you telling me, man?
We're here for the post-match reaction.
Aye.
Get these fans on. If they're as excited as we were and happy, then we're going to be in for a good time. So it's finished Arsenal 2, Tottenham 2. That battering that we were meant to be taking today at the Emirates.
I can't see him. I can't hear him. I can't hear the Arsenal fans.
Yeah. Do you know what? They should be coming on telling us where this battering went.
Bruv, you know what? I'm trying to send for people, but I can't see him.
Yeah, man, because there'll be a lot of them be members of We Are Tottenham TV as well. Come on, come to the post-match. But first, we want to hear from the Spurs fans.
Yeah.
How'd you find the game overall?
Yeah, bro, it was excitement. I lived up to the hype.
Yeah,
it was a blockbuster. I think the neutrals would have enjoyed it as much as us Spurs fans, not as much as the Arsenal fans, of course.
What do you think? Apart from the result?
I don't know, like, they looked a bit despondent towards the end. Like,
but is it because they're expecting to batter us all the time and it wasn't the
basically?
But if they take a picture as a football game,
yeah, but they're not going to do that. They're probably
it's Arsenal fans. They don't know about football, do they?
Yeah, bro. It's like, yeah, I just can't see it. They were too bossy with it, too short with themselves. Yeah. They couldn't wait to like just flaunt it in front of us.
Yeah, they wanted to. It weren't Spurs the last season, and that's what they were expecting to come up against.
Yeah, and like because they were so arrogant, they became naive.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, they spoke too early. It's like, you know, remember we finished second.
Yeah.
I don't remember us being like that this season.
No, we weren't. Yeah, we weren't that bossy. We weren't so arrogant with it. But just goes to show, innit, what type of people some of them are. I won't say all of them, but a lot of them.
So you know what? Instead of us talking, because we've done our talking, you can go and watch our match reaction highlights and stuff. Let's bring out the fans, man. The fans today. Let's bring out the boys.
Let's bring it, man. Bring the boys.
Who we got first?
Hey guys.
Hey Mikey, how you doing?
Mikey, inside.
I'm buzzing, man. I'm actually buzzing. I'm fucking buzzing. Like after what everyone was expecting, not me, obviously. I don't know what you mean. And everyone just around us was all chatting shit. To go on with it, Chelsea lost to fucking Aston Villa, so that's even better. That's made my day, man. That's made my day. It's just like we went to there. We didn't play as if we were at the Emirates. We played as if it was a derby, and that is what you want. You don't. That's what we needed, and that's what came out. It was outstanding performance. A little bit of overplaying, like we kept fucking about a couple times on the edge of the box. I kept thinking, I know obviously when Maddison got caught as well, I was a little bit kind of iffy about that. But apart from that, I'd give it a 9 out of 10 performance today. Absolutely outstanding. And the only criticism I have is that maybe Son, I understand Maddison went off because he got that fucking horrible looking knee injury and he had to be rested. But Son went off a little too early, in my opinion. But apart from that, outstanding game performance at the Emirates against the biggest rivals that we got. So I'll take it.
When we went 1-0 down, though, were you a bit nervous? Were you thinking, oh, here we go again?
Look, I'm going to be real, yeah. When we went 1-0 down, it's not the fact that we went 1-0 down to Arsenal at the Emirates. It was the way in which it happened. It was just like, it just had the repetitive factor of it. It just felt like, oh, fuck, here we go again. And it was just, I was in a pub in Covent Garden full of Arsenal fans, and I think me, my dad, and someone else were like the only 3 Tottenham fans there. And when the first goal went in, I just heard like an eruption of noise, and then I thought, maybe obviously I knew we would score, but I wasn't anticipating a reaction we had for the second part of for the second half of the first half. Yeah. We were probably the best football we played this season. Constantly on them, didn't let them have a sniff. It was amazing.
And also there was like a narrative that because we've got no Kane, that we were going to be absolutely awful. But in fact, it was actually the opposite.
Who's Kane? I don't know. Who's this Kane you keep talking about? No. Son took it on himself, and Maddison and Son today looked lethal. It was, like I said, I knew that. Like I said, I kept saying, this is going to be closer than people think because we do our best work when teams press us. And admittedly, we haven't played someone who's pressed us aggressively as Arsenal did today, and it showed a little bit. we weren't into like Maddison, for example, or a couple of times where Udogie or Van de Ven got caught. We weren't anticipating such a high intense press, and maybe we should have done. But it still shows that like when you are not open, but when you don't low block us, we have the chance to hurt you, and it showed time and time again. I don't know how Brennan Johnson didn't score twice. That was an unbelievable save from Raya. And the second one, although it did lead to Son's goal, still should have been a Brennan Johnson goal. But like when Raya saved it at 1-0, I thought that kind of compounded my repetitive starts. I was like, all right, you know what? If that doesn't go in, how do we score? I was wearing a cap. I threw my hat to the ground. I was screaming. I was like, how the fuck did he not score that? But this game, especially the away one, it brings out emotions in me like no other. Usually at the end of a Tottenham game, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty kind of sound. But today I'm emotionally exhausted.
Talk to me about, you were talking about saves there. Talk to me about Vicario.
He looked, again, like unbelievable. Probably one of the most underrated keepers in all of world football. Like, genuinely, the saves he's making, like, they were just, like that one against Jesus. Like, Lloris is palming that into his own net. We know this. And that was an incredible save. I was so happy with it. And if it wasn't for, like I said, someone was saying in the comments, it was Son versus Romero to see who wins the North London derby today. It was like, I feel so sorry for Romero because they're both going to be attributed to him, but they're both kind of, it's just a little bit like unfortunate, especially on the penalty. That's just really unfortunate that it had to be him after the own goal. I feel a little bit sorry for him.
Which players actually stood out for you today, which you were kind of nervous about at the beginning? So
I will say this. I think the thing that stood out to me the most was a lot of people saying Udogie had a good game. I think Udogie had an okay game. He was very rash a couple of times. There may have been a cause for him to get, if there was such thing as an orange card, I probably would have given it to him. Some things he did more than a yellow, but less than a red. I don't know. Alexa, stop. I didn't rate Udogie's performance as high as a lot of people are, but I think Bissouma stood out again. Maddison and Son, obviously. And I loved Brennan Johnson today. I think aside from his finishing, he looked very good. He kept Ben White on toast, and that was pretty sick.
Do you
I worry a little bit about Udogie when we play Liverpool because we're coming up against the two best right wingers in the league back to back.
I was going to say. Yeah.
I worry a little bit because against Saka today, obviously Saka still did end up getting a shot away, which led to an own goal, and then obviously scores the penalty. And I'm a little bit worried about him coming up against Mo Salah week after playing Bukayo Saka. But hopefully he gets his two big tests out of the way, and then he can kind of continue being amazing. So I'm a little bit worried for Udogie versus Salah, but that's for next week. Right now, I'm very pleased with our midfield, our goalkeeper, our defense, and our attack.
Do you think that Martinelli and Trossard being out did play into our hands a little bit because it meant they put Nketiah up front, who, let's be honest, didn't have a sniff?
Nketiah's closest shave with the goal was when he two-footed Vicario and should have got sent off.
Yep.
I can't believe that's not a red card. I'm sorry. Like, someone was saying, the studs weren't sure. It's the intent. He's gone in two-footed on a goalkeeper. Yep. Like, if that's on an outfielder, I get it being a yellow, but you tried to two-foot the goalkeeper. Like, if you two-foot a keeper and you get the ball, you're not going to get up in time to score. So what are you aiming for there other than to hurt the keeper? It's ridiculous that that's not a red card, in my opinion. I'm fuming that's not a red card. And that would have swung the game.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
That point aside, I think... Sorry, what was the question?
With Trossard and Martinelli being out, do you think that played into our hands, especially on that right-hand side?
I think so because Pedro Porro, he has some defense. He's looked better this season, but he still has a couple defensive frailties. I think we saw that today a little bit when Jesus kind of cooked him a couple of times. And if Martinelli especially, I would have been extremely worried. Trossard, because he likes the ball into feet, that's kind of Marseille's got that running behind where, Romero and Porro would have had to be constantly looking for that threat. So I do think it played into our hands a little bit. And Rice coming off at half-time I don't know why Arteta did it, unless it's an injury.
It was an injury,
in that case, I understand it. But the fact that, without Partey on the bench, Jorginho he's not a natural single pivot, is he? Like, he's not defensively sound, and we saw that. Maddison pressed him, we got a second goal, and that was that. So a lot of things played into Tottenham's hands this game, but I don't think that takes away from the performance that we've shown, because no matter what, you can say before the game, missing Martinelli and Trussell, but to actually put it into practice, to press Arsenal as high as we did on their home turf and come away with more possession at the Emirates. And a draw is something unheard of in Tottenham folklore recently. So that's in the league, especially. So that's something I'm very happy with. And I just think that their teams are going to start to pay attention now. People were saying that this is going to be our big test, and if we come out unscathed against Arsenal and Liverpool, people are going to start to listen. You should have been listening already. Look out for us because we are coming.
No, that's a very good point, actually. Do you think Arsenal fans now, because obviously they've seen Tottenham today, and will actually go, this team's not the same Tottenham we were expecting to turn up? Do you think we're going to start getting a lot more respect from them going forward, or do you think it'll just be exactly the same?
No, I think it will be exactly the same. I don't think they're going to give us the respect because I know they're going to be salty about not getting the win against Tottenham in the derby, especially at home. I think I've heard a lot of Arsenal. I've already seen it in social media comments. A lot of people saying, it was, if anything, they should be lucky to have come away with a result because if it wasn't for Christian Romero, where are they getting a goal from? Jesus misses a glorious chance to make it 2-0. And Nketiah I'm not going to say he's not a good striker because I'm not that stupid. He is a quality striker, I think. But he didn't have a sniff today. Without a little bit of Spurs self-sabotage, which there always is in a North London derby. There always is. Let's not try and say that there isn't. They wouldn't have won today. And we deserve the respect for this result even more than Arsenal do for this result. And they're not going to give it to us because they'll sit and moan about, you only won because we took Rice off and there was no Partey and there was no Martinelli. And they'll be so bogged down in their own self-pity that they won't be able to see that Tottenham are actually a good team and they played their socks off to earn the point there.
Also, as well, I think the two managers were quite telling between Ange Postecoglou and Arteta. And a lot of people wasn't really respecting Ange the way we were, the way we're loving him. Do you think the Arsenal fans will give him a bit more respect, or other teams as well?
They have to. Underestimating Ange Postecoglou will be a downfall. At this point, we've seen, Eric Ten Hag underrated Ange Postecoglou by trying to play a single pivot against our extremely mobile midfield, and look what happened. Arsenal did the same thing today, and look what happened. I think in the midfield, Tottenham's midfield won the midfield battle. Odegaard was getting on the ball a lot, but it was in deeper areas. Maddison got 2 assists today. Bissouma had the game of his life, and Pape Matar Sarr. All right, maybe he didn't stand out as much as the other two, but he still kept Fabio Vieira, who is a good player, mind you, on a virtual string. And Peter Drury, the commentator during the game, put it best. He was like, Arteta looks like a cat on a hot tin roof, whereas Postecoglou looks like a cat curled up in front of the fire. And I love that analogy. It's so true. Arteta was fuming.
Peter Drury is underrated as a commentator. I swear now. Peter Drury is proper underrated.
It's so perfect because Postecoglou is the calmest man in the Emirates Stadium.
He was. I think, even in that last 10 minutes, I don't know about you, but if you were watching us, I was a nervous wreck.
Myself.
Yeah, but Postecoglou is just sitting there okay,
calm. That's calm. Why.
And actually, I don't know if it made me feel a little bit calm watching him down that touchline.
But if I had Conte, who's probably one of the only managers who's more animated than Mikel Arteta, that's a different story, bro.
Yeah,
that's a different story. I'll say this for the Arsenal performance, they seemed to learn, at least in part, as the game went on, that we weren't gonna be the same Tottenham that they played before, and they did evolve to kind of deal with us a little bit. So I will give them that credit. That the in-game management from Arteta is really good. He didn't come second in the league for nothing. He is a very, very good manager, and you can't neglect that. But people looking at Ange Postecoglou thinking, who is this Aussie Donny just come from listen, he
speak your truth. Speak your truth, man. Tell him.
There was Flav said, there's a Spurs fan called Flav. He's a kind of famous guy. He went on an Arsenal channel and he said, the Premier League is equal in difficulty to the Australian League. And people thought he was taking the piss. But what he meant was the quality surrounding you is the same. So obviously you've got 6 good teams. You have good teams in each league, just step up in quality. So Postecoglou has had to play has had to play in leagues where they are not dissimilar to his own team's strength, and he's shone in every single league, and he's doing it again this year. Obviously, Pep Guardiola's imperious Man City aside, I think we've looked like the best team in the Premier League so far over the past over the first 6-7 games, and that's a fact.
Yep, the stats do back your claims up. I think Spurs have had the most shots in the league. Obviously, not the most goals. Obviously, Man City have that, and then
and Brighton as well. I must
and Brighton as well.
Brighton.
Yeah, correct. So, but in terms of everything else, we're not far behind, and that's the reason why we are still second, right?
No, we're
fourth. Actually, sorry, we're fourth. Liverpool won, didn't they?
Yeah.
Liverpool won. Sorry, yeah.
So, Mikey, where do Spurs go from here? What do Spurs do now? We've come unscathed away from the Emirates. Obviously, next week is next week, but what does is the future bright now for the next few months?
I'm not going to comment on our next few months until we've played Liverpool, because having two let me get my words out. Having two equally difficult games, well, not equally because we're at home for one and away from the other, but having two extremely difficult games back to back will be the making of this Spurs team. They'll come up back to back. You know, like I said about Udogie, you're going to have individual battles all over the pitch. You're going to have Destiny Udogie facing the best right winger in world football. You're going to have Bissouma and Maddison, if he's fit. Obviously, that remains to be seen how bad that knee knock, because he bent his knee backwards. It looked horrible. I think I am waiting for the Liverpool game, because even though like the derby is a derby, whereas Liverpool is actually a big game. Like, it's not a derby where form and everything goes out the window. It is a big game where you can predict certain things. And I think that will be a huge test, especially at home. Two big games back to back. I think that will be. So I will predict where I think Spurs go from here. I think after the Liverpool game, because I just want to see how we go out 2 weeks back to back playing such difficult teams.
I think that's it for me.
Yeah, Mikey, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming on.
That's it for me. I'm going to go get some dinner.
All right, bro.
But yeah, thanks, Mikey.
Thanks for coming on.
And come on, you Spurs.
Safe.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Good call.
Great call, man. Yeah, let's keep it
rolling.
rolling.
I'd love to watch it in a pub with a bunch of Arsenal fans.
Oh, it would have been
in that
brilliant.
situation. That'd be great. You know, especially when we get that second.
Of course.
They're all celebrating that way.
A few moments later.
Yeah.
That's what you see, boy.
Yeah, you know someone's gonna pull the highlights of that.
I want to see the streams as well.
Yeah.
I want to see other streams how they reacted as well, because that would have been hilarious.
But let's get the next guy out. People, cover your ears, turn your volume down.
Yeah, turn the volume right down, because this guy comes with 100% energy.
Yes. Next, bring him out, Ariane.
Man like.
Talking about energy. I need everyone to settle down, okay? Because look, Agwell is great and all, but we've only just played like Premier League fodder so far. The real test comes against Liverpool next week, so we need to just relax.
Okay, cool.
Keep it cool, okay? Because we haven't played serious teams.
I respect it. I respect it.
Joking aside,
Is that what we're telling Arsenal now? We haven't played serious teams yet. That's going to be our whole thing for the next week.
Yeah. Just relax, everybody. Pochettino's great and all, but we have to wait until we play real teams like Liverpool, like Man City. We haven't played them. Okay,
yeah.
But seriously, jokes aside now. What a performance. I was watching that with my dad, right? This is the first time in my memory as a Spurs fan that I remember going down at the Emirates, and I said out loud, I said, game's not over. I said that. I've never thought that, let alone said it. Because, if this was Conte, and I know people like to take the piss out of like the whole thing. You say, oh, when we went down under Conte, because we had a lot of comebacks, but even those times, we didn't really think it would happen. If that happened under Conte, my head would be down. I'd be tempted to turn the TV on. Right, because you just don't get back into the game like that. But not only did we get back into that game, not only did we get that goal, we grew into the game. And that second half, if we had maybe 10 more minutes of that first half, of that first half after we scored, we probably would have got another. And that after the 30th minute, that was our game, completely our game. And I think there's a lot of people who are saying, oh, well, Spurs scored off mistakes, and Spurs we're lucky not to be like X amount of goals down, but you could say the same for Arsenal. I mean, Raya's incredible save.
What a save!
Probably like
what a save!
What a save! He doesn't make that completely different game. Just a bunch of moments either way could have changed the course of the game. For example, if the ball didn't bounce off Romero's thigh as unluckily as it did, or if that penalty isn't given, or if Nketiah is sent off, or if Basuma and Ansar both don't get booked because Rice fucking slapped Udogie in the face and escaped the booking, right? A lot of stuff like that will happen, and they'll change the course of the game. That's what the derby is. So people saying we got lucky to not be X amount of goals down or X amount of goals up or whatever, it's all nonsense because the performance at the end of the day, you look at it, it was their backyard, and for very large parts of the game, we looked like the team that was going to take the points. Yes, they had moments and we had our moments, but I would say we went toe-to-toe with them if we did not play them.
Yeah, they got lucky. They got lucky. Not the other way around. They got lucky. You know what I mean? What did you make of... Yeah, facts, bro. What did you make of Johnson? BJ.
Brilliant. He's dynamite. Exactly. I think Ange got it spot on putting Kulu and Brennan in that way. I think he had a plan for this game. You could see that with the way he changed the lineup. If he didn't keep it simple or anything, he did change it a little bit, and that was definitely a masterstroke because Ben White was on his toes all game until he unfortunately got injured, which hopefully he's okay. Maybe it's just not too bad. I think he was very unlucky not to get a goal or two there, and I don't think it was necessarily his finishing was bad. Just some really, you can't, maybe you should be putting it in the corner or whatever, but that Raya save is insane. Any other, 90 other times you see hits that it goes in out of 100. So a bit of bad luck for him on that end. I think he was great. I loved watching him when he got the ball. I'd always get out of my seat. I would say run because the pace he delivers, the dynamism, it's exactly what in this game. He can produce something a little bit. As much as I love Kulu, when he gets the ball, I know about 6 players are going to outpace him and recover before him. Right? With Brennan, it wasn't like that. I knew he was going to get past everybody, and he had a couple moments where he got into the box. He drives the ball really well. He's a very exciting player to watch. I like that. I think if he didn't get injured, I really think we had a better chance of going for those 3 points. Some injuries and frustrations, which were probably influenced by moments of injury, like Madison's, for example, who probably was precautionary one, and apparently Son was precautionary as well. He said, if we didn't get unlucky with a couple of those knocks and stuff, could have been a different game today.
So, Arian, there was a lot of people this week saying only probably one Spurs player would get into Arsenal's starting 11. Has that myth been disproven today? And do you think a lot of people should be eating their words?
Absolutely. I think there's more on current forms. I was watching that video with Babs and Ben and Sim and the other guy. I don't know his name. Just the things they were saying, I was just shocked. Like the way they were talking about players like Basuma, players like Udogie. Udogie was, respect to Mikey. I have no idea what he's talking about. How saying Udogie was okay. He was absolutely brilliant. Dealing with Bukayo Saka on a yellow card, the way he did, was amazing. Bukayo Saka scored a penalty and a deflected goal. He didn't get cooked at all. I think the best chance came from a Madison mistake, which is Jesus' horrific miss. They really, Udogie just didn't. I think the worst thing Udogie did was that weird back pass where we almost, in the first half. But besides that, he was fantastic on a yellow to deal with Bukayo Saka, who has 4 goal contributions in 5 games leading up to this game. Now he has 6, but it's a penalty that should not have been a penalty, and an own goal. So, I think he did exactly what you would want him to do in this game. Physically, I completely overpowered Saka. Defensively, technically, drove the ball forward. His actions are what led to that first goal. I don't understand what else he could have done besides score the winner to have a better game. So he was fantastic. So for example, there's that player that gets in. I think Raya probably just for that one save alone probably takes the cake for the goalkeeper if you're made a combined 11 after performance. But if Vicario also had some great saves of his own. Poro was twice the player Ben White was today. I think Van de Ven was the best player on the pitch. Madison, I don't even need to say anything. Son scored 2 goals as well. Don't need to say anything there. Brennan Johnson was probably the best winger on the pitch today. I just don't understand, how you can come up to this and say Bisuma's not as good as Rice. Rice got hooked at halftime for injury, by the way, but his cast couldn't keep up with Bissouma. He couldn't turn the same way.
Just a quick thing, Arian. I'm seeing the comments right now. They're saying you sound like you're underwater.
I did say, as you can see, this microphone isn't here that it normally is. I took it home because I have the same of this at my other house, but the microphone there broke. So I took this, but I forgot to to bring it back, so I'm using my webcam mic, which stinks, but it's what
Okay, my bad. See that comments? I did try to listen, but yeah, I was going to ask, who do you think won the tactical war, the tactical battle?
Ange Postecoglou. Ange Postecoglou, not a doubt in my mind. Lego Man got outplayed in his backyard today, completely outplayed. They needed some insanely lucky moments to win that game. It's like the tactical battle was. You coming into the game, you can see they both had a plan. Ange changed the lineup, which he doesn't like to do typically. I mean, I think Ange, just the way Ange operates, you see he prioritizes simplicity. If he makes a change, it's because there's a very good reason to do that. For example, like just anything you see from like the physios. Normally when someone goes down, you have a whole entourage of medical professionals looking at the players. Every time our players went down, you had one physio go up, check on him. If anything else is needed, you would come back. Just very simple stuff. Even you look at our social media, for example, just player analysis. Everything is just so simple with Ange. So if he's making a change, there's a very good reason why he's making that change. He changed the lineup, brings Brennan Johnson his first debut at the Emirates away. There's arguably no harder fixture in the league, and it worked like an absolute charm. Arteta brings some to one of the most physical and dominant midfielders in the season so far, which is ours, and he brings in Fabio Vieira, who has the build of a stick, and he got absolutely.
To be fair to Fabio Vieira, though, I thought he was the best one out of their three. I thought Rice and Odegaard didn't get nothing out of Basuma and Maddison. I thought they were quite poor, and I think Vieira was the actual constant threat out of the three. Because he had the cross in the box, he was getting in certain areas, and Sarr just wasn't picking him up in that first half. And I thought once they took him off, I think the game went more in our favour.
I mean, I think most of the reason he was... I mean, yeah, you said Sarr wasn't picking him up. I think really that was the biggest reason. He was just not getting picked up very often, but he didn't have a lot of quality. And every time we did go up against in a one-on-one or something, he was just getting completely thrown around. A bit like when we put on Solomon for Brennan after he got injured. Just those players in a game with this kind of passion and emotion, where things are going to get physical, you don't need them, right? And as horrific as a footballer Guy Havertz is, I think this is a game that actually suits him more than it does Fabio Vieira, because even though Vieira had a lot of space, he had absolutely no quality to turn into anything.
But out of the two, who had the better game out of the two? Probably Vieira.
I mean, Havertz, probably Vieira, but
so it's more suited game, but he didn't play that well.
I guess. But, I think if you start that game differently with a different set of players, it might come out different. I'm just what I'm thinking, and generally, a lot of the mistakes, bringing on Jorginho, again, that was probably forced through injury. Yeah. But I think he was quite poor. Honestly, like I said, Rice and Odegaard, who are some of Arsenal's, Rice is a brand new addition, and Odegaard's a captain. And they were getting completely outplayed. Tactically. Look, let me say it like this. I'm just gonna revamp everything I've said. You look on Twitter. A lot of the things I've been seeing about the Arsenal fans, they're upset not because they got a point, but a lot of them are just conceding that they got outplayed in their own backyard, completely outplayed in their own backyard. And when you're at home and you're requiring a completely luck-based deflected goal that was not going in, and a penalty that was very controversial, and some very favorable refereeing decisions in your own backyard, where we have not won in how many years, that's a very poor line. I mean, there was some moments where I was seeing their defensive line, and it was deep into their box, not the whole game, but there were some moments where they were defending with their lives out there, and this is their home. So when it comes to tactical, being tactically outsmarted, a manager like Mikel Arteta, who always raves about the kind of football he wants to play, and he just wants to be kept so bad defending that way. That's just him basically admitting on the pitch that he's conceded this tactical battle.
Quick question before you jump in, Marlon. I was going to ask, do you think at times we were defensively a bit nervous from playing out from the back? Did it worry you? Does that concern you going into the Liverpool game, how we played out from the back against the so-called, top four team?
I really don't think we were nervous. Actually, we were quite ballsy, because a lot of times it wasn't working and we still kept persisting on it. It showed kind of more of the character. Yes, sometimes a mess up Maddison, makes that mistake, takes the touch, Jesus robs him of the ball, misses, and still do it. Some nervy moments in there, but that's also the cost of playing out the back. You look at teams that play out the back, any team, you can pick them out. Where it comes to your Aston Villas, your Brightons, your Liverpools, your Cities, your Arsenals, and us, you will always go through the games. There's always that one game where they pass it down the middle, it got caught, and they conceded. Every team that plays out the back has moments like that. It's part of the risk you take when you play that way. So it doesn't worry me because I think we have the quality to do it. I think today we showed that. I think it was actually a great show of character that sometimes when things didn't go our way, we still kept our heads up, kept it up, and we created goals from it, and that's all I can ask from them.
No, great, Ariane, as always, great call.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Thank you. 2-2 at the Emirates. We did not get battered, and we should have battered them, and we're going to batter them when they come to our home, when we're still way ahead of them, even project-wise in our time scale. They're going to come. They're going to get cooked just like they did 2 seasons ago, and they should have done last season. North London is white. It is forever going to be white. And as always, come on, you Spurs!
Ariane there, boy.
No, good call, good call.
Really?
A lot of good points.
Yeah, I liked what you said about character. I
Yeah.
think that's a big talking point because a lot of
The
people
only thing I
would have said,
disagreed with him was on the midfield part. I thought Vieira was their best midfielder. And when you asked the question, who was their best midfielder, Vieira was going to come out of their mouth. But it wasn't to say he was great.
yeah.
I just thought he was more effective, and I think that played into our hands in the second half.
I think their midfield was went missing. Like
Yeah.
if he told me Madison,
Madison and Basuma.
sorry, if he told me that Rice wasn't playing, I would have believed you.
Yeah, and same with Logard, to be honest.
Yeah. So
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I said out of the three, he
mm,
was their best. And then even when Havertz came on and Jorginho, they weren't any better.
yeah, that's true.
So I think that's where, and like you say, tactical battle. I think realistically, Arteta got quite lucky.
Mhm.
And he probably actually won it in the sense of he was quite lucky to come out of a 2-2 draw. Where Ange
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, where Ange probably, I know we're looking at it going,
Yeah.
but I reckon we could have done more.
Yeah.
And he,
To hurt them.
Yeah, to hurt them. So,
Mm.
but yeah, Ange, mate, I love this. I love Ange Postecoglou at the moment, mate. Can't get enough of him. But should bring out the next guest.
Yes, man. Let's do it.
Hello, how you doing?
Yes, bro. What's going on? What's going on?
You on mute?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm joking. I know you're on mute. He's trying to fix himself.
He's fixing it.
The wrong mic. I'm on the wrong mic.
There we
Oh, here we go. Nope.
No, we had you.
You hear me
now we
now?
lost you. Yes.
hear me?
We can, yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you now.
Okay. How you doing?
I
How you
knew.
doing? How you doing?
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
How you feeling after the 2-2 draw?
Man, I'm buzzing, man. Great performance. We seemed like we were the whole team. We seemed like we were imposing ourselves more. We were the ones playing, like, not emotionally. We were the ones who went there for business. So I can't be happier.
Where do you think we kind of outplayed Arsenal today? Where do you think we won those battles?
The midfield is a great shout. We didn't press as high as they did. They were more relentless in their press, which is why we got caught when we were playing out the back. So we played more with the mid block, and Basuma and Madison and Sarr defensively just outplayed them. Like, they had no chance. You could see when Arteta brought on Reece Nelson, he was telling him, go at the fullback. Like you have to challenge him. And this season, even Martinelli, like, they haven't been challenging their fullbacks like with that relentlessness that they were doing last season. So Porro was calm, Udogie was calm, and the midfield, like, we just dominated them. So there was really nothing they could do.
Yeah, I agree. Even when it comes to Nketiah, I saw him do the switch over. Jesus was on the wing, and then they had to switch it over. Like, so I totally agree with you. That's a great point you make as well. But yeah, do you think that with Spurs, we could take this type of form into our next game? Do you think this is a massive statement for our season so far? Do you think this is a great game to go into?
100%. Obviously, Liverpool's probably the most cursed fixture other than Arsenal away, and we dealt with that very well. So hopefully going away at Liverpool, playing at home at Liverpool will be a different story than it has been for the past couple of years. Obviously, they press as high if not higher than Arsenal do. So as long as we're stable at the back with our playing out the back, we should be able to see the same type of performance against Liverpool that we saw today.
And which players stood out for you on the pitch today? Which players stood up and you went, yeah, they get this. This is what a North London derby is about.
Van de Ven, man, he looked like he's been there. He looked like he's been there for so many years, and it's only been 6 games. He dealt with everything just superbly. He was bringing the ball up the pitch. He was progressive. He was dealing with, and Nketiah didn't have anything. He couldn't do anything against him. So Van de Ven for me was the man of the match by far. Bissouma also, he was progressively great. First half he was caught a little bit off the press, but he grew into the game very well and ended up being the best performer in the midfield. And then Madison, I thought he had a good game, but he didn't affect the game as much as he has been the past 5 games. He was coming in deeper, but he just wasn't affecting play as he usually does. So hopefully he's okay. He doesn't have to be out for the next match. I think it was a good decision to switch up the midfield later in the game just to have some sort of defensive stability, because we knew with 10 minutes they were going to eventually start getting some crosses in. But Van de Ven completely handled everything. So I was calm, to be honest. I was calm.
And you mentioned Van de Ven there. How do you think his partner did next to him, Romero? What did you make of his game?
Romero was also pretty good. He was very unlucky with both the own goal and the penalty. The penalty, I probably would have given the penalty, seeing as he probably stopped the ball going in the net. But other than that, I thought Romero dealt with the pressure well. I thought you could see his head didn't go. Like, he was still in the match 100%.
Yeah.
Arsenal
Agreed.
was playing emotionally. If that happened to Arsenal, they would have completely capitulated. It would have been like 5-2. But Romero, he kept his head on his shoulders. He took the responsibility, especially getting that captain's armband later in the match. And he played great throughout the match, other than those 2 mistakes. So I was very happy with the defensive partnering.
Is there anything that concerns you at all about this game that you thought, oh, hang on there, don't like the look of that? Or is there anything that you thought Spurs had like a little bit of weakness in certain areas?
I think our press wasn't as good as it has been over the past couple matches. Especially in the first half, we had a lot of possession, but we didn't have a possession with intent. We just kept the ball in our half. It kind of reminded me of Conte ball. But once we started progressing up the pitch, especially in the second half, that's when we really started seeing Ange ball in play. So yeah, just don't rest on your laurels. But I thought we with like when we conceded, we were way more positive than Arsenal were. So that's something we could take in for the rest of the year. So yeah, there were some things that I saw that I wasn't extremely pleased with, but overall, I would say there wasn't really much. So I can't really be mad.
Great call. But as always, come on you Spurs.
Big up, bro.
Come on you Spurs.
Thanks for coming on.
Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.
Yeah, I liked what you said there.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, it was
good
all
insight.
And Van de Ven obviously is going to be a big talking point. So, but it was all it's positive. I think.
Yeah.
Like, even we can pick negatives, but are they really negatives? And as everyone's saying, it's just 2 mistakes.
Yeah.
But I tell you what's really interesting is that penalty is 50-50.
Yeah.
Being given. Like, for me, I said straight away, and you weren't too.
I wasn't like, because I was.
Are you still? What would you still?
No. It's because it's just natural. Like because he was unbalanced and he was down on one knee, and it wasn't like his hand was out, if that makes sense.
So for me, where I see it totally different, where because he's trying to spread himself to stop it going in, but once he puts his arm out, it's for me, it's trying to block the goal. And
Yeah.
for me, that's
It's a penalty. Yeah.
And that's how I looked at it. And that's what I'm saying. If we're two referees, you would have seen it the first way. I would have seen it the second way.
Yeah.
So it's one of them.
I just knew how the game goes in these type of calls.
Yeah.
It's always going to go to the attacker.
As I said,
as well.
And as I said, and it should. And personally, for me, it should. We want to see goals. These goals.
Yeah.
The reason why we brought VAR in was.
And I even said it. I said if it was the other way around, I think the bias would have been for Spurs.
Yeah. So I would have wanted a penalty as well, but I probably would have gone a nice bit harsh.
Yeah, and that was my point. That was my point, basically. Yeah.
But yeah,
was there another penalty shout as well?
Dogi, we haven't really spoke about that, but that was the one from the corner. And I said that one was probably more a penalty because his arm's up in the air.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's doing. And you take the risk as a defender, you know if the ball's coming across, do you really have to put your hands up in the air? But again, he doesn't see it. Because obviously, I can't remember who went up for the ball, but if he doesn't miss it, it doesn't touch his hand.
Exactly.
So it swings and roundabouts, isn't it, with his penalty decision?
It does.
But let's bring out our next guest.
All right, who we got next? Who we got next? Asif,
how you doing? You okay?
Asif, yeah. How's it going?
You okay?
All good, bro.
Yeah, all good. So how you feeling?
Yeah,
how
all
you
good.
Feeling? I can see you got a smile in your face.
Great.
Little cheeky smile. Cheeky.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Like we go to Emirates and we have a point. Like how long? 5 years since we got a point from Emirates? I don't know. At least like 2 or 3 seasons for sure.
I'm taking your word for it. I'm taking your word for it, man. So talk to us, man. What was your takeaways, man? Tell us your takeaways from the Spurs game against Arsenal.
I was surprised that they were like so professional. Like we know that the project is not like if you compare the projects, Arsenal are like about 4 years ahead of us, right? Like when we sacked Poch, it's been 4 years, and it's been like a downhill travel since then for us. So now that Angie's here, I was not expecting that it will go so well. I know it's only 6 matches, but today we kind of showed everyone that that he means business, right? And it was so professional. We were calm. We made a couple of errors here and there, but overall, I felt like it was a great performance. It is supposed to be extremely difficult to go there, their crowd and all. But I felt like we did great.
Are you surprised as well that we started so well this season? Like this first 6 games, we're basically undefeated. Did you think maybe?
Yeah, exactly, right.
Did you think it might take a little bit long time?
I thought so, but there were certain. If you remember the preseason matches, right? We lost the match against West Ham, I guess. But if you think about the way we try to play, it was so refreshing. And the new guys that we brought in, I know that we did not get, we wanted another center back for sure, but. Mickey Van de Ven, what a guy! Like he came to Spurs, and I can't imagine that he's just playing for 6 matches now. It feels like he's been playing with us for ages. I feel defensively, I feel so calm despite having an attacking minded manager, right? We had Conte, we had. We had other coaches who are supposed to be, defensively more stronger, right? But I feel more calm defensively. Even when Arsenal were, in the first 20-25 minutes they were attacking, we conceded the goal. I was not. It was back then when it was Conte, at least the last season, I would be super frustrated because I knew for sure that unless Harry Kane or Son has a field day or has a magic moment, we won't be back in the game, right? But this time I was not feeling like that. I was hopeful that we concede, but it was not a shambolic defensive error or something like that. It honestly it was kind of unlucky, right? It's just an own goal. But props to Arsenal. They were playing well for sure, but I was confident that sure, bring it on, because I felt like the midfield was playing really well. We were getting, the battles in the midfield, we were winning them. So at the end of the day, I felt like this was kind of surprising in the sense that no one really kind of believed that Ange could, make his mark so early in the season, like within first few games. But I guess like we Spurs fans, we saw our boys play, and we feel like you know what, it would be a good shout to get a point in against Arsenal. I don't know if you I mean. I saw a few Arsenal channels, and they were like going, yeah, it would be an easy win for them, like 3-0 or 1.
A few.
I mean,
that was the consensus from all Arsenal fans.
that's what all. I know exactly. So I was like thinking, did they really watch our games? Like I was like, I'm not saying that we would go there and would definitely get a win or something like that. It's not like that yet, right? But there were some shouts. Like, I mean, I felt like it was it was kind of coming from the performance that we've been seeing for the last few weeks.
Crazy. Yeah, I agree, man. Just to go back to that point as well, about the young kids. How impressed you are with the younger players? How impressed are you with them, with their performance today?
They were awesome. I mean, Udogie, this is supposed to be his first big challenge, right? I mean, against Saka, he did fantastic. I forgot what time he received the yellow card, but after that, I was like kind of worried, like at some point he make another mistake and he's off. But this is unbelievable. He's what, 21 now, 21, and he's playing like, I don't know, like prime, what you had, Jan or prime Vertonghen at this point. I mean, he's so calm and he controls the ball. I would still say that today his ceiling is even higher based on the performance that we've seen before. He was amazing. And Porro, I was thinking last season when he came in, I was thinking that he was so good, in the final third, but defensive wise, he was not. He was like getting found out in every match. He has improved on that, which is very encouraging going forward, to be honest.
Asif, great call. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah.
Big up.
And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Nah, do you know what? I'm finally glad someone mentioned Porro.
I was going to say, I saw a point at you. I was like,
yeah.
I
did say he was going to be very important. As soon as I saw that they had Jesus on the left, I knew he was going to be important. And
to be fair,
some of the positions that he was starting to get, and you remember we laid that cross in, and Raya has to come out. I thought,
for me, he's just been getting better and better as games gone on, and I think he's improving defensively as well. It's not just on the ball. He's offered us a lot going forward, but defensively, he's
going to be vulnerable defensively, but it is what
I just think he's getting better. I just think he's learning a role, because I could see that he needs to be coached in him. But he's still a young player as well.
Yeah, true. Shall we bring out the next man?
Yeah, let's bring it up. The big boss.
Bring him out.
Let's go.
Come on!
Fresh from home. Fresh from away, sorry. Hey.
What do you say, guys? How you doing? How was it in the studio today?
Wow, it was explosive, man.
It was manic. you nearly lost your studio.
Exactly. Almost flipped the table over.
Yeah. After that first goal, I think we kind of forgot ourselves.
Yeah. Wow.
Wouldn't have it any other way, guys. Would not have it any other way.
Literally a roller coaster, up and down. But you were there, man. Talk to us. How was the atmosphere, man? I want to know the energy. I want to know the away fans, how they was.
Non-stop singing right from the start all the way till the end. Going 1-0 down, don't faze us. I thought the fans played a 10 out of 10 performance today. It really was. I was there with Brian. I was there with Sim, and it was just like it didn't really have the feel to it like it had in previous North London derbies, where we've kind of just sat back, not knowing what to do, try and catch them on the break. I mean, I thought this was our best performance at the Emirates for a very long time, to be honest. And a lot of players stood up for the shirt today. There were some mishaps. I thought it was maybe a bit nervy at the beginning from the likes of Romero, but Van de Ven today, man. Mickey Van de Ven. Oh, my God. What a performance. Did one thing get past him the whole game? I swear.
I don't think,
I only the pass from Udogie, and that was it. That was the only thing that got past him and nothing else.
Talk to me about Sonny, man. Sonny, he's there. He's there for us. He's the new captain. He's trying to catch Kane's record. How did you think he went?
Sonny was unbelievable today. Obviously, that clinical. He is just so clinical. That finish for the first goal. Wow. At the Emirates as well against Arsenal, those kind of finishes. And we were having, I don't know if you saw the content that we were doing with Babs and Igal before the game.
Yes, I saw it.
Son saying, "Oh, Gabby Jesus is a better striker." Where was Gabby Jesus today? Where was Gabby Jesus today? In a captain's performance, and he led the team over before the game and did the huddle right outside the away end as well. So I thought, I was saying to someone in the game today, I was saying that Heung-min Son is the best captain Spurs have had probably since Ledley King.
Jeez, it's a big shout.
Big shout. You're gonna have to do a whole show on that.
Yeah, no, I'll tune in for that one.
Yeah,
I'll tune in for that one. But yeah, no, he seems to I think that idea where he's got them in a huddle and he goes towards the away fans. I think that was a great shout. And even like his comments before the game,
it gets them riled up, and it also kind of like the connection. We all talk about the connection between the club and the fans, right? And these kind of small things, you might not think it's like it makes too much of a difference, but these small details make so much of a difference, and it gets the fans all riled up. It makes a connection between the fans and the team. So, I mean, he's the first captain that actually is actively trying to make that connection.
Yeah.
What did you think of also Maddison? What did you think of his performance?
Well, bloody hell! I don't know what he was doing in our box when he got robbed by Gabriel Jesus. I don't know what he was doing there, but he was another one that kind of started the game a bit nervy, in my opinion. But I thought he was growing in the game, and I felt like we lost a lot of our attacking intent when him and Sonny went off because the players that we brought on, they just didn't have the same energy and the same quality as Maddison and Sonny has. Unfortunately, I thought Rishi was fairly poor when he came on. Manor didn't do really much when he came on as well. So I thought we lost a lot when them two went off, and you saw how important Maddison actually is for us. And 2 more assists today. I mean, you can't really complain. I thought it was brilliant.
Also, there was a big call, obviously, of the starting lineup with Brennan Johnson. How do you think his debut went?
Yeah, I thought he performed really well, to be fair. I mean, he was causing them problems out of their left-hand side. Not his natural position as well, which you got to say. But for a debut coming in your North London derby, I don't think it was the most perfect display. There are a few more things I'd like to see him be a bit more clinical, show a bit more cutting edge. But all in all, I was very happy with what he showed. He was bright, and he was a bit of a handful at times.
Yeah, what do you make of the tactical display between Ange Postecoglou and obviously Arteta? Who do you think won the battle?
I think, I think a draw was probably a fair result for this game, to be fair. I think Arsenal had their chances in the first half. There was a big moment where they had us penned in and we couldn't really play out the back. But I thought all in all, it was a pretty even game, but I think because of the narrative of the two clubs and the two managers going into it, I felt like Arteta got a lot of things wrong today. I don't know, with Gabriel Jesus on the wing. I don't know. He was just playing some weird. Arteta made some weird decisions today.
Very
I think
weird.
It kind of played into our hands a little bit. And actually, at the end of the game, I wasn't like delighted. I thought, oh man, we should have won that game. That's the kind of the feeling I was thinking.
Oh my days! It's like the whole fan base to say the same thing.
That's exactly the same thing.
This is crazy.
In that last 10 minutes, when it was 2-2, even though we weren't playing well, I thought we had one more chance in us to get a goal.
So guys, do you think then that Arsenal fans are going to be upset about this performance? Are they going to be upset with the players or the manager, or is it a bit of both?
Everything, because I think Arteta made a few questionable decisions, like I said. But on top of that, like Arsenal were very sloppy today at times, really sloppy. I don't know if it was to do with them actually being sloppy or Spurs pressing them into making mistakes like time and time again. But I've said it all season. Arsenal don't look like the team that they were at the first 6 months of last season. They just don't look like that team. And you know, their fans came into this game with the big ball, the big bollock, trying to be like, yeah, we're this team again, we're this team, we're one of the best teams in the world. We finished above you once in the last 7 years, and we finally got Champions League football for the first time in 7 years. But today, the levels look like they were very similar between the two clubs.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I can't agree more with that. But was it when Romero scored that own goal? was the whole fan base? Because obviously you were there. Were they like, here we go again?
Look, it's hard not to feel like that because it's like
Yeah.
it happens every single year at the Emirates. But I think there was a different vibe. Like I said, there was a different vibe today. Even when going 1-0 down, I still think the fan base had that belief that we can get back into it.
Yeah.
Because only a week ago,
Yeah.
I know it's only Sheffield United, but we were 1-0 down going into the 95th minute, 96th, 97th, bang, 98th, 100th minute. We go and get that win last week. So I think like Ange is really instilling that belief that we can fight till the end. We can get results against the biggest teams. No question about it. Last season, Arsenal were the second best team in the league. So to go away to Arsenal and to put in a performance like that and to go away with a result and feel disappointed after getting a draw at the Emirates, I think that's only good things, man.
Yeah, for real. And also, we've got Liverpool coming back. How are you feeling like going into that game now? Are you slightly more pumped, or are you still worried after they beat West Ham 3-1?
To be fair, I was actually more worried about the Liverpool game than against the Arsenal, to be honest, because I think Liverpool are playing much better than Arsenal are at the moment. They've started the season off on fire. They ended off last season on fire, which everyone seems to forget without a midfield. Klopp has been there. He's done it. He knows how to fight Man City all the way till the end. So I actually think next weekend is going to be more difficult than this weekend. But look, we're at home. We're unbeaten so far this season, as are they. So bring it. Let's see what they can do.
Just bring it.
And all that content on We Are Tottenham TV for the week as well.
Yeah, I said it last week. I was on the fan show talking to Sim, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we got Arsenal and Liverpool coming up. How many points?" And I said to him, I want 4 points minimum. He was like, "Oh, I'll take 2 off your hands right now." And I'm thinking, I was there saying like, why do we take 2 points when we've seen the football that we're playing this season? We're seeing the mentality of the fan base, seeing the mentality of the team. The manager as well has just completely flipped this club from bottom to top. Why can't we go into these games with belief and thinking that we can win it and go and get the results? I don't see why we should fear anyone right now.
Yeah, true, man.
No, agreed.
I echo that, man.
Yeah, I'm a bit confident going into the Liverpool game now next week. I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
the
I think
problem, Alan. Whenever we get too confident, that's the problem.
No, but I mean, in the sense of right, I think at least when we play Liverpool in the past, I'm going, oh, here we go. It's just going to be backs against the wall. But actually, we're actually going to give Liverpool a good game. I'm not expecting 3 points, but I'm expecting us to go out there and probably give Liverpool a decent game to where they're like, hold on, we need to sharpen this up a little bit. But Tottenham, after today, that's it. I'm done. I'm good now. I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, I'm in a good mood as well. And you've got to say, a lot of players stood up for the shirt today. Pedro Porro on the right-hand side, I thought was absolutely brilliant. Adogi as well. I thought he was one that was kind of nervy, but he also grew into the game. And I thought he dealt with Saka really well. And all these players as well, Sarr, Bissouma, Udogie, all these players that were on bookings, they did so well to manage the game.
Yeah, definitely.
So well.
Definitely.
So, I mean, I was so happy with with every player on the pitch today, really. I can't fault any of them apart from I just questioned Ange's decision to take off Sonny and Maddison, but apart from that, I'm really happy with everything.
Oh, interesting.
Really interesting. But yeah.
Cool. All right.
Ben, we better leave you and get someone else on.
Yeah, man.
Good job as always, guys. Southview COYS repping up.
I'm loving Big Ange instead, boy. I'm loving Big Ange instead.
No, do you know, it's quite. I love hearing that. I love that hearing when from the fans that were there.
Yeah.
And then the fans watching it on TV, because you get such a difference. Big contrast.
Yeah, that's what I noticed as well.
Yeah.
First thing he said, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually how players did and stuff like that. But but as he said, Maddison didn't start the game off very well. And I said the same thing. But actually a lot of people come on and go, Maddison's been brilliant.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it like he didn't start too well.
Should we bring on the next one?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Movie.
What's up, people?
Yes,
Brian.
Brian Lara. Talk to us. Tottenham on tour.
What can I say? Ben's taken all my material. I don't know what to say now. Basically, what Ben... No. Listen,
not another echo chamber.
What can I say, boys? Listen.
We'll clip it. We'll put you first.
All we ever asked for as Spurs fans going into that game is for us to show heart, passion, commitment, desire. And boy, did we get that in abundance.
Preach, brother.
That's all we asked for. Win, lose, or draw. Just go off that pitch knowing that you've put on a show and you've given it your all. And like Ben just said, 1 to 11, boy, did they do it. Boy, did they do it.
All of them. Because, and I think for me and for you, like, this is a question for you. Like, the biggest worry for Spurs fans is that, let's be honest, right? There was a goalkeeper at the other end that we all wanted in the summer. But how did our goalkeeper do, the one we actually got over the line and everyone said was a cheap option? How was his performance today? Because no one's really spoke about it, but I thought it was great.
So first of all, when Raya made that save from Brennan Johnson, you were just like, oh, here we go. He's going to have he's going to have a worldie today, isn't he? And I'll say it, and I've said it a million times before, and I'll say it again. When that Raya deal fell through, I was in the studio where you were, and I went absolutely nuts for a change. Absolutely nuts that we've blown this opportunity, and then we're bringing in this guy.
I'm asking you the question,
mate. And then literally, we brought in Vicario, and I was like, "Oh, who's this guy?" Whatever. But I said after we signed him, do you know what? Someone put a tweet out. A good friend of mine, James Flowers, saying, "Typical Spurs fans, you want to go down the Brighton method." And then when we do it, you complain, who's this guy? And since Vicario has been in goal, he's been outstanding. And he made a couple of saves in both halves. I am so much happier that we got Vicario than Raya now. Whatever the club did, they did it right. I was wrong. I shouldn't have gone nuts. I should have had faith. Vicario was awesome. And how Nketiah or whoever it was didn't get a red card for that tackle on him I just don't get it. But do you know what? It was, like I said, Vicario was outstanding today.
Yeah, no, he was brilliant, and it was a great performance. And I asked the same question to Ben, but I just want to know a little bit more about like the atmosphere, because obviously Arsenal fans would have been going crazy and stuff. But how did you see it as well?
You know what? Obviously, it was my first time at the Emirates. I've been to Highbury many a times, but I hadn't been to the Emirates. So as we got to the Emirates and we're walking up the stairs, there's quite a few. The atmosphere outside was dead. Then obviously we got into our section. It was rowdy. It was, mate. Spurs as always away were fantastic. It was just non-stop. It was just non-stop. It was a very. Do you know what? For a North London derby, it weren't just all one-sided, was it? It weren't literally. And one of the things, I don't know if anyone had mentioned this, but I saw this on both goals. Normally, when we've gone 1-0 down at the Emirates, there's finger pointing and, oh, no, here we go and whatever. They just picked the ball up and ran it straight back to the centre circle and were like, let's go. Let's get back into this. Let's do what we did. There was no pointing and blaming and shouting. It was like, all right, we're going to go down, pick up the ball, and we go again. And do you know what? Like Ben said, the first half, we started a little bit shaky. And Destiny, when he picked his yellow card up, he was rattled for a bit. He was rattled. But then he came into his own. As you mentioned before, the others. But there was some. Mickey, I'll tell you what, Mickey van der Ven.
So,
no
Brian,
matter
before,
what.
yeah. Brian, go on. Because I said it earlier. There was his performance in the first half, right? And I said, if Brian's watching, right, me and him are going to be sitting there going, he's going to start becoming our favourite player. Because our favourite player is obviously Tottenham, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he looked like a Rolls Royce of a defender today, did he not?
Well, you know what it is, Marlon? When we look at it, he's just come in and they're saying he's from the German league. You've got to adapt to the Premier League. We all knew, no matter what happened, no matter how many centre-backs or players we signed, a left centre-back was the absolute necessity. Yeah. Absolute had to be filled. We went and got this man, and do you know what? Every single time he gets a test, and you think, right, this is the test for Van der Ven. This is it. Can he do it? Can he do it? Every single time he has a test, he comes out with flying colours. I don't think we realise just how much of a colossal defender we have on our hands here.
No,
he is
real.
Absolutely incredible. Whether it's people trying to run it past him, obviously his pace is there. Whether it's his strength, you can't get past him. His shield, he is just absolutely incredible. In the first half, where the defence, apart from Porro, who I'll come on to in a second, because I think Porro does deserve a special mention. I think Van der Ven is just incredible. I'll go on to Porro now. It's like, listen, with Porro, we had it that I was one of them. I thought this guy can't defend. I thought he was woeful defending. Then the Man U game and the Bournemouth and Burnley, and he showed he can do it. But he switched. He tend to switch off. It was like, is Porro going to be the guy they targeted? Is he good? And boy, did he stand up.
Yeah.
Boy, did he stand up. Like I said, he put in an outstanding performance. And like I said, those heads didn't drop no matter what happened. And I am just so privileged to have been there and so proud of what I've just witnessed today.
Talk to me, Brian, about the substitutions that Arteta made. He took off, obviously, Fabio Vieira, and he brought on Havertz. Do you think that was a way that Arteta kind of threw away the game through those substitutions?
Listen, I mean, we can sit here and say that Havertz, no one understands that transfer. Well done, Arsenal, for spending God knows how many millions you did. I was saying to Ben and Simeon, when he had a shot that went high and wide, but it only went into the first tier. When it only went into the first tier, I was like, that counts as a shot on target for Havertz. If it hits the second or third tier, I mean, he is not a good player. I mean, the substitutions. Also, I was shocked to see Rice go off, but apparently he's picked up a knock from what I was hearing.
He picked up an injury.
So yeah, that obviously was a huge benefit for us. I mean, they tried to huff and puff. I don't think they could find an answer. The only thing I'd really talk about when it comes to subs is, like Ben, I didn't agree with, and obviously who am I to say, taking both Son and Maddison off at the same time was a bit weird for me. It was like, take one of them off and then another one off latter, because after they went off, we lost just that little bit of cutting edge, because James Maddison, this guy can find space in a phone box.
Yeah.
He is simply unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Brian, you just said phone box. A lot of people won't know what that is.
Okay, back in the day before mobiles, we had these red boxes.
No, it's still in Trafalgar Square. It's still in Trafalgar Square. It's all right.
If you go to London, they're still there.
They're still there, man.
Like I said, you look at it. Bissouma came alive in the second half. He looked rusty, or not rusty. He didn't come alive in the first half, and I was like, he needs to wake up. He needs to. And again in the second half, he turned up. Yeah. Listen, if someone had said a 2-2 draw with that performance, everyone would have snapped your hands off. If anything, I thought we could have gone on to get the win. But one person I will speak about highly, and I've criticised him in the past recently, Dejan Kulusevski.
Jeez. No, do you know what? I'm so glad you're about to mention him, because nobody has mentioned him so far. And today was his best game.
Kulusevski, who I've been critical of because I thought he's become too predictable and he just comes in on his left. Then we saw the stat, how much running he does, which is incredible to see from any player in your team. But today, he was awesome. He was absolutely awesome. And he did, listen, like I've said, I will give criticism where I feel that it's deserved. And when credit needs to be given, I will gladly give it. And Dejan Kulusevski today was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. He's one of our better players, wasn't he, at the top?
Brian, and I think we should kind of end on that, because you can't, with Kulu going, you're the first person to mention it. And I said earlier, I thought he had a great game. And I can't agree with you anymore. Everything you said has been spot on. From what I saw in the thing. I know, man. What's going on?
My God, everything I said was spot on. Jesus Christ. Capture that moment.
Yeah. Clip that.
We're going to clip it. But no, thank you, Brian, as always.
Big up, Brian,
brilliant.
man.
No worries, guys. And I'm not even going to sign off how I normally sign off today, because today it's all about the boys, Ange Postecoglou.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were done proud. So this is about the boys and Ange. So big up. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
I love it, man. I love it.
It says a lot right now, right? That he doesn't want to sign off with, what he normally signs off with. It shows you what Big Ange is doing.
Yes.
Right? And there's a lot of us in the same campus here that are going, you know what? this is all it's going to take is someone like Big Ange coming in. But
Yeah.
I've also said this could be the downfall of somebody because when it all starts going wrong, he needs to back him.
Yeah.
We just got a super chat before we carry on
Mm.
from SLG
Mm.
saying, just saying, you two are the best to watch. Quiz.
Is it? Wow,
You know what? Again, I'm going to read that again because SLG deserves more
They meant Marlon. They meant Marlon. They meant Marlon.
Just saying, you two are the best to watch, Quiz. And also, if you don't know, we have our own channel as well at Southview Quiz or Southview Quiz TV. We have got a channel that was in the watch along chat if you want to go.
Yeah,
there
so
and
if
see.
you want to come over,
Yeah,
we
come
do
over.
shows. We do shows sometimes.
shows.
We do shows.
Yeah. Are we saving the best till last?
Jeez, hey, the big man himself, you know.
I know.
General, the general.
Let's bring him out.
No other than
KPV.
KPV.
Look, you got a smile on your face. Tell the Arsenal fans what happened today. Go on,
Yeah,
tell
what
them.
happened to Arsenal? What happened to Arsenal fans?
Where's all them Arsenal fans, eh? They're like Favs and Eagles on Tottenham TV before the game this weekend saying, oh, he's just better than John. Are they mad? Where was he today, man? Like, where was he? He couldn't score, mate. Like, where was he today, mate? He thought he was going to score home against us back-to-back seasons. Boom, club. See you later. He couldn't even score, mate. And he couldn't even score today, blood. And yeah, second wife may have suffered the knock or something, but it's good anyway.
Who's shown
Yeah.
for you, KPV? Who was your man of the match? Who was the guy that saved Spurs today at Emirates? Who showed them up? Who put Emirates in the mud? Who put Arsenal fans in the mud?
Ronaldo, mate. Ronaldo.
Son Aldo. Son Perignon, my friend. Son Perignon. Son Messi.
Don't you, Messi? Oh, I hear a call or something.
Oops, Daisy.
Yeah,
That's the son taking Gabriel and Saliba back to the Emirates.
that's now 6 goals in 9 games against Arsenal, and Son's trying to break Kane's record. Like,
That's
you
right.
what? He's going to do it at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium because these lot, they're getting slapped when they come to our house. We should have beaten them there last season, but yeah, we were poor. But this season, it's different. The new luck Tottenham, and I'm sure Toby Alderweireld and Harry Kane must be watching this game, and yeah, Harry Kane must text Thierry Henry saying, unlucky, but yeah, they got done over by us today, and Arsenal fans are moaning about the penalty, but I don't think it was a penalty for Arsenal because I watched it, I saw it, and it hit Madison's arm, then went to Romero's hand, so it was ball to hand, not handball. Clearly, VAR's ruining the game, and I wanted a late birthday present, a win at the Emirates.
Aw.
13 years. I wanted a birthday present, man.
When's your birthday?
13
When was your
years.
birthday, KPV? When was your birthday?
Thursday, like.
Happy
3 days
birthday,
ago.
bro. Happy birthday. Happy belated. Sorry, happy belated birthday. Big up yourself.
Yeah, and 13 years we haven't won there since 2010. Kabul winner, like, yeah, that was the last time we won. And I thought we were going to see a repeat of 2010, 3-2, but yeah, great result. And Madison didn't suffer any injury. I think it's just a big concussion as it was before United game. But yeah,
Thank goodness.
why would Big Ange take off our 2 main attackers? Like, they were brilliant today. Mathers, 2 assists, Son, 2 goals. But we have to talk about that first goal. What a finish. And he searches the Arsenal fans, as he always does. He always searches them up. But, yeah, where did 10 minutes come from, man? Where did 10 minutes come from?
Exactly. For
Where
real.
did it
No,
come
you're
from?
right. Where did it come from?
If we had scored, we'd have loved it. But
Yeah.
They think they're going to win the league, but nah, man, it's City or us because we're in a title race. We're still unbeaten.
Wow.
And they still got to play City at home, man. But 2 of their players on this, De Bruyne and Rodri for City, and yeah, I have Rodri in my team, but he was my vice captain, but he got sent off, and he's going to miss the game against Arsenal, who he loves scoring against. But yeah, lucky. But yeah, we've got Liverpool, as I call them, Liverpool, as I always call them. Bring on Liverpool, mate. Saturday.
yeah, so that was going to be my next question before you go. How are you feeling about next week now? Are you feeling a bit more confident or are you still apprehensive?
I'm confident, man, going into that game. Like, we were home, the atmosphere is going to be amazing. I'm sure the same people are going to be there. I know Ben and Sim will probably be going, and maybe it might be you two in the studio again. So, yeah, it's going to be
I
you
think it's
two.
Iggy next week.
It's going to be you two, and yeah, let's end at one because they're unbeaten as well, and we are. So someone has to lose, and it's going to be them. Like, how was Van Dijk playing today? He got a straight red against Newcastle a few weeks ago, and he played today. Like, if you go straight red, you miss 3 games, and the FA only gave him 1. Lucky bastard, man. Sucks. Good luck playing against us next week. 'Cause he hasn't even scored against Tottenham. Only Trent and Robbo have. They're the only defenders that was at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But good luck next weekend, Liverpool and Klopp. You're getting slapped up, mate. We're gonna
Trust
win.
me. Tell them again.
And then we've got the next 2 games after that. So why can't we go in confident into this game? Like, we beat them at Wembley when Kane got 2. He made the headlines, and yeah, Kane just had Liverpool in his pocket. But yeah, we've got Liverpool next weekend, and obviously Lewin, I think, after that Fulham. So yeah, we could. The double's still on, people. Double's still on. Premier League, FA Cup. So it's still happening,
I love
people.
it.
I don't see any third. I am confident we're still going to win the double, and why
Go on,
not?
KPV.
So people, set your diaries for next Saturday.
Jeez.
Big game,
Yes,
all
brother.
I'm
Go
going
on.
to be in the club watching it, and I'll be screaming louder when Son scores the winner and Madison gets 3 assists, and he might score as well. So, but Kulu, brilliant game today. Yeah, brilliant game for my brother. And finally, he played at the Emirates. Last season he didn't because he was injured. If he played in that game, we would have at least gotten a point, but we lost 3-1 there. But this season, he finally played. But yeah, he's only lost 1. That was time last season. But we brought him under 20. And we got top 4 then, but he's not lost at the Emirates. As I said, he's still unbeaten there. But yeah, he's only lost 1. That was the home last season. But bring on the home game in the new year. But we've got more games. Chelsea at home, 6th of November, Monday Night Football.
Aye, talk to me.
See you later.
It might be Poch's only win at this rate. Poch might not be there.
Poch might not be there. Poch might be gone for real.
You're getting slapped up, Sammy, mate, and enjoy mate. So I'll see you soon. I'm out. Jeez! So,
KPV, see you later.
Hey, KPV's on smoke. I love it. That's how you end the show, you know. Hey, you saved the best of last. Big up yourself, KPV, and happy belated birthday as well, man. What a show. Guys, do remember to hit that like button.
Subscribe for We Are Tottenham TV. Great boys. They've got content coming out all week.
All
You'll
week,
get
man.
The match review tomorrow.
That's right.
I believe. It'll probably be a call-in show next week for the Liverpool game as well, and some of the other content coming out. So make sure you subscribe to the boys. They'll be back tomorrow. We've got a super chat before we go. He goes, I hate Sunday matches. Rambro, sorry, I should actually say his name. Rambro, thank you. I hate Sunday matches. You always know that someone in the team was out on the last Saturday. This week it was Basuma. He came and corrected it in the second half. COYS PvP. I didn't even know where that was going, but that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Nice one.
But yeah, thank you to everyone who's joined us today.
Yeah, man.
And joined us for the watch along. It's been brilliant. Thank you to all the Arsenal fans that did join us at 1-0 and then decided not to come after they went for 1-0. And you learned your lesson for the second goal because we didn't see you, right? You went, oh, come on, you Gunners. None of that in the chat. Because by the time you'd have done that, it would have been Spurs equalising. So well done for that. Also, please, our channel is in the pinned. Please come over and subscribe. We have content coming out this week as well.
We have.
We do some decent stuff, if you say so ourselves. If you enjoyed the watch along, you should come to our Tuesday show because it's definitely a lot of banter going on.
It's a vibe.
Yeah. So hopefully you've all enjoyed it today. But yeah, happy?
Yeah, happy, man. Bring on Saturday, man.
Yeah, bring on Saturday. Do you know what?
Yeah.
It's one of them. I'm not in the case of if we lose, we lose.
Yeah.
Right, I don't care even if we got battered because Sheffield United just been bad 8-0 people.
8-0.
8-0 by Newcastle at home.
Crazy.
So Higginbottom won't be in the job tomorrow.
He will not.
But,
he will not. First exit of the league.
But Liverpool are a good side, right? And
Yeah,
we've come
no doubt
away
about
today against Emirates. But at least next week, we kind of go in there. We know we're going to give him a game. Will he tweak it like he did today? Because no one's talked about that yet. How he tweaked his system a little bit.
I think depending on how the game goes.
Yeah.
I think he's an end-game manager. He'll see it and he'll look at it and he'll fiddle where he needs to. But I think he likes to keep things the same. Obviously, Johnson...
for me, Van der Ven, it's quite funny because actually Brian said about Van der Ven. Actually, Van der Ven's worst game in a Spurs shirt was actually the game kept a clean sheet in, which I thought was Man United.
Yeah,
because he let a lot of things go past and a lot of chances. Do you remember Vicario kept us in it? So hopefully he's now got the confidence from this.
Yeah,
game.
he could take into their next game and
I thought they were talking about Destiny Udogie as well coming up against a lot of people saying he's going to come up against Salah next week. But I think actually he's learned his lesson from today.
Yeah.
And I know Salah's a complete different player, but he knows 2 games in a row, he's got to be on it.
That's right.
So
that's right. I think all of them, I think at times concentration went. And I think that's what kind of made us stutter in the first half. We correct those. Cooking. And just got a Barbie on people.
Barbecue, yeah. Thank you. Thank you to the whole nation of Australia for taking him in.
Yeah, man. Well, surrogate father, yeah.
And lending him us to us because, oh my God, he's turning this club around.
Literally, the energy is different.
Space of time as well.
Way quicker than he even anticipated.
I don't think he anticipated this either, but it is what it is now, isn't it?
Yeah. We've got the quality, so.
Yeah. But yeah, make sure you tune into Ben and Sim tomorrow.
Yep.
Probably some point in the afternoon. Make sure you tune in for that. If not, hit that notification bell. They'll be back. But yeah, as always, please like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.